Minecraft. Yeah, I have another Minecraft world on this channel, but this time I have an excuse. This is Firefall, a new SMP I was invited to. So you see, it isn't me just making another world for no reason, it's me, like, socializing or something. I could explain the vibe of the server more in detail, but instead you can check the description to find the Firefall trailer, which has a link to the Discord in its description. But anyway, dropping in, I immediately find myself in the custom spawn area, and select the craftsman class because frankly, I'm a builder first and foremost in this game. After grabbing that, I wander around the spawn a little, finding some special mobs that run shops. This seems like it could be important, but for right now I'm not going to worry about it too much. While I'm doing this though, I am thinking, what should I do on my first video on the new SMP I'm on? And of course, the answer is to make a really big building. Made of 100% cobblestone. Mostly because I wanted to see if I could make a single block structure look good. But before I can get to that, I need to actually get started. So I use the fast travel command to send myself over to a mountain island, in the middle of the night. I run up the mountain to escape the mobs before climbing atop a tree and punching some leaves and wood. Not only to get my initial wood, but also because it's giving me some weird points, and I'm trying to figure out what all this stuff does. After breaking a lot of leaves, I got a level in herbalism, which I don't quite figure out what that means yet, but the number went up, and as a Factorio player, I vibe with that, and I'm sure I will not obsess over these numbers at a later date. But anyway, after cutting down a couple trees, I fast travel to the desert, as it seems like it would be a good spot for the build I have in mind. So, I run into the desert, once again in the middle of the night, finding a nice lava pool. I plant a couple trees and then stand atop a pillar to not get killed by a horrible baby husk. Upon this pillar, I make my crafting table and first wooden tools. With those tools, I lower down a little and place some cactus near the bottom to trick my enemies into prickling themselves to death. Between that and my wooden axe, I managed to clear away all of my foes without dying. Because it may not be hardcore this time, but it's still a server, so dying still comes with shame. After that bit of excitement, I wander over to an azalea tree and break it, deciding to move my operation over there, including my saplings, and then initial mine, right under where the azalea tree was, that way I don't have to deal with as much sand. And after some mining and some lost replay clips, I get to work farming some wood, as I'll need a good amount for all the pickaxes I need. This is also around the time I discover skills. This server's actual reason for the funny numbers. For example, I got some levels in woodcutting, which unlocked effectively tree feller. That said, it costs mana, which you get by just doing stuff, and it's also not guaranteed to trigger, so it isn't quite as good as tree feller. Then, knowing how much stone I'm going to need for this project, like about 50,000 cobblestone, I craft a couple pickaxes and go back into the mines. To lose another replay. Or I guess technically flashback file of me mining. That said, it's just me digging, so not a huge loss. And then leaving the mine again after a while of digging, I start thinking. I am going to need a lot of cobblestone, and for that, I need a lot of pickaxes. While I can make stone picks over and over, I wondered if there might be a better alternative. Firefall has no villages, at least not as far as I'm aware, and at this point we have not unlocked nether privileges. But I still go down to the mine and get gold as I consider the option of trying to get a couple villagers to get picks from. This is because I know I can buy blaze rods from one of the vendors back at spawn, so theoretically if I could get a zombie villager, I could get a villager out of that. However, coming to spawn again, I come to learn that those blaze rods are not cheap. Like 8 diamond coins not cheap. That may sound small, but keep in mind that an actual diamond can be sold for 4 silver coins, and 10 silver coins is 1 gold coin, and 10 gold coins are 1 diamond coin. However, there are other things you can sell, like logs. You can sell most types of logs in this game for 8 silver coins per stack of wood. This made me consider farming wood to get enough to get that blaze rod, but after selling an entire chest of wood and getting 2 diamond coins out of it, I decide I just don't feel like doing that 3 more times just to make the brewing stand. Especially since, to use it, I would have needed at least 1 more, and probably another wart, which wasn't cheap either. Sure, there are other alternatives, like the witch strat, but frankly, I just decided my stone picks were enough, and I could hold off on the villager concept for a while. After a bit more mining in the mines though, I decided that doing it manually in the ground was going to take a small eternity, and so I should do something else. With this in mind, I make some hoppers from the iron I got from the mine, and set up all the chests I need to fill with cobble in a stair pattern and connect them with the hoppers. And after going into the mines to grab a bucket of lava, I make a cobblestone generator at the top of the stairs. Yep, I decided to just mine cobblestone from the cobble generator for the rest of this. It is not the fastest by a long shot, but by being able to make this almost fully automatic, I can save some mental energy as I work on this. And since my all cobblestone build is in fact all cobblestone, I need 50,000 cobble. And that is a lot. So saving some mental energy and not hollowing out the earth seems like a good play to me. However, it is admittedly not that great for the video because it's just me standing here for a while. See, I can time-lapse it, but it just kinda looks like this. And so, now is where I'm going to more or less cut to me having the materials collected. Not quite, but close. But I don't want you thinking this didn't take a while. Specifically, a row of stone pickaxes took about 27 minutes to get through, mostly because mining like this is extremely inefficient and I normally just broke one block every time, and that's not very quick. And, well, I broke a total of about 410 stone pickaxes this episode, almost all of which were used here, so you know, like 20-ish hours? That said, I just spent most of this time watching YouTube while the cobblestone just mined on the other screen. A few hours in, I take some of the cobble to make my cobble variants. Specifically, I need to make 1,156 cobblestone walls, 3,564 cobblestone stairs, and 5,966 cobblestone slabs. Technically, it was only 5,965 cobblestone slabs, but you can't make uneven amounts, so 66 it is. Then, of course, make more pickaxes for minings. I do still need a cool 43,058 raw cobblestone blocks, so you know, just a few more. A few hours later, I'm done. Chests on chests of cobble. Meaning yes, all that is left to do is to build. I did, for a moment, consider moving off and building the monolith elsewhere, but after a bit of wandering, I decided to just build on site. That being said, that means I need to remove everything here, starting with cutting down trees, and then, you know, everything else. Now, pretty much last thing before the time lapses, I decide to make the first layer of the monolith, just to show me building, I suppose. There's a decent amount of stuff on the desert ground to remove first, of course, including dead bushes, some cactus, and a lot of sand. But that's fine, nothing a few shovels and some time won't fix. Then, after digging out the area, I can place all the cobble for layer 1. This takes a while, but that is to be expected with the footprint of this building. But, with that first layer down, you can see the general size of the building now. But in order to see the whole thing, well, just watch on. Well, it's a bit dark in here, but that's it. I'm done. You think I should light it up? Torches, you say? Those aren't made of cobblestone. Yep, only cobblestone in this build. So, no lights. That said, there should be no mob spawns with how it's built. That said, I will not guarantee 0 spawns. But anyway, that's it from me, so I'll just leave you with the ending cinematic. This video ended up being a bit shorter than I was expecting, but that's alright. At least I got it out a bit faster, I guess, so for now, I'll be off, and I'll try to be back soon. But, for now, farewell.